Maya here. Welcome back to my channel, and for this week's video, guys, I have been watching a lot of storytime videos on YouTube, and I thought it'd be fun to show you guys one of my own. So for this story time, I'm going to be sharing with you guys one of the most craziest slash scariest slash most surreal scenario I have ever been in my life. Now, I'm sure this scenario is not as crazy or as scary as some scenarios some people have been in, but for me, a little naive little Asian 6th grader, this was one of the most scariest things that ever happened to me because I had absolutely no idea what was going on. It was in my school, and just the whole thing that led up to it was just so crazy. I just had to tell you guys. But if you've never been to my channel before, hi, I'm MayaHennessey, and I make weekly Sunday videos, and I would love for you to see them. So please subscribe to my channel, click that little bell, that way you'll always be notified whenever I make them. But let's not dawdle on anymore and get straight into this story time. So this story takes place back in 6th grade. I had just entered middle school, and just a little background information for you guys. The two middle schools in my town were being renovated at the same time to be modeled the exact same because they were old, they just needed some new construction. So basically, the construction started in 6th grade and it was going to go on for 3 years. So that meant from 6th grade to 8th grade, aka all 3 years of my middle school experience, I was going to be going through construction. And for some strange reason, I don't know if it was exactly the construction that caused all of these problems, but my school had so many problems with it. The other middle school was totally fine. It didn't have as many problems as we did. And by problems, I mean that the fire alarm was just always going off. There was always a problem with the school that caused all of the students and faculty to be evacuated. We had to get out immediately. And note, all of these fire alarm situations happen in the winter time, so we were literally standing outside in -degree weather, snow on the ground, like short sleeve shirts. It was just terrible. But this one situation just terrified the heck out of me, and it was literally the chain start of what was yet to come. So back in 6th grade, I had lunch 4th period, and then I had math 5th period. So basically, before 4th period started, I went to my locker to go grab my lunchbox, and this was back when I kept my phone in my locker because the teachers always told us, you know, don't bring your phone to your classroom, you're not going to use it, you don't need it, it's going to distract you, blah, 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 blah. So I was one of those students that listened to the teachers and always kept my phone in my locker. But this day, I specifically remember thinking this in my head. I thought to myself, should I take my phone to lunch today with me? Nah, I don't need it. I seriously regret that decision so much. I really wish I didn't do that. So we head down to lunch, 4th period goes on, everything's normal, everything's fine. I eat with my friends, and then the bell rings and I head back upstairs for 5th period. And before I went into my 5th period class, I had to wait outside the classroom door because all of my teachers would eat their lunch inside that classroom. So I had to stand outside and wait till they all came out before I could go in. So I'm just kind of, you know, standing there, minding my own business, talking with one of my friends. I've got all of these books in my hand, ready to go into my afternoon classes. And then all of a sudden, I hear the sound of just glass breaking. Like, you know the sound when like a waiter drops a bunch of glass plates or someone breaks a glass cup or whatever? That's the sound I heard. And then my social studies teacher comes running out and she says, "Go! Run!" I know, so calm. So immediately after, my friend grabs my arm and starts pulling me, and we start booking it out of that school. And I remember we had to run past my locker with my phone in it, and when we walked past it, I was like looking at it like one single tear was going down my cheek because like, no, my phone. And also, a quick side note, this was also the day I brought my laptop to school, and my parents always told me, Maya, if you lose this laptop, we're not getting you another one, we're not replacing it, so you need to like take charge of it. So I'm literally running past my locker with my phone and my laptop in it, thinking to myself, oh my gosh, why did I leave them in there? Why did I bring my laptop to school? I'm such an idiot. Anyways, back to the story. So we're booking it out of the school and the fire alarm starts going off, and I'm thinking to myself, what the heck is going on? And let me remind you that back in 6th grade, I was like 4 foot something, so I was pretty short, and I had all of these books in my hand, my friend dragging me on with the other, and I had all these 7th and 8th graders who were like so much taller than me, like squishing me together, separating me from my friends. So I'm literally like bunched in, trying to hold on and running like, oh my god, what is going on? It was so surreal and so scary. So since we were on the second floor, we had to go downstairs to exit the building, and so everyone in the upstairs is like booking it down this very narrow staircase, and then all of a sudden, the lights turn off, and all you hear is, just like a million screams from everyone, and it was so scary. I even screamed a little bit because like I almost could have fallen and like tumbled down those stairs. I'm pretty sure I almost did because like I was like leaning forward from all the books, dragging me down. My friend was like 2 stairs below me, and I had all these people behind me like pushing me down. Like I could have easily tumbled down those stairs and like broken my head. And I actually found out like later in the year that my friend was also on the other staircase on the upstairs floor, and he actually ended up tumbling down the stairs when the lights went off. So safety hazard, definitely, but I'll get onto the light thing in a minute. You're probably wondering why they would turn it off, but I'll get there. So we're running down the stairs in pitch black, and then all of a sudden we get downstairs and I see daylight, and I'm just like, oh, thank the Lord heavens, we can get out of here. I don't want to be in this school anymore. I am so scared for my life right now. I just wanted to get out. So I get outside, and it is freezing cold because that December we had just a terrible snowstorm. So there was snow on the ground, it was freezing cold, and then all of a sudden I just smell gasoline. And it was so unbearably strong. Like everyone around me was gagging, everyone was like putting their shirts up to their nose, like it was so bad. And because my hands were still occupied, I couldn't like hide my nose from all the gasoline. So basically everyone is outside now, and we're all just like, what the heck is going on? We still don't know what the heck is going on with the building. So we are told that we need to like leave the area like immediately. In fact, even some nearby homes and restaurants were evacuated and told to like move away from the school. So here's where the fun part comes. So basically we had to walk down this one road away from the school, and then we thought that we had to turn left, but it was actually a right. So there was people going like both ways, people getting separated. It was just madhouse crazy. You would think that it would be easier to make everyone go in one direction, especially like a big group of people, but actually it was so difficult. And I think the reason it was so difficult because there was about 900 students in the school, maybe 1,000, because there's like a 300 to 200 students per grade, and then we had all the faculty with us. So we had to like move 1,000 people away from this one building. So obviously we can't stand outside in this -degree weather, or else we're gonna die from like frostbite or whatever. So the school calls up the bus company to bring some buses around, and we're still walking to go find the buses, and that took like at least 10 to 15 minutes. And just a funny story, I remember me and my friend, we were walking by this one house, and they had like a blow up snowman thingy, and I found it funny, they like started blowing it up as we were walking by. So you just walk by and you see this snowman start blowing up, and you hear one kid like all the way over there saying, "It's alive!" Oh my god, we were so cringy. So anyways, we walk down the road, we turn a few ways and whatever, and we finally see the buses and we get on. So I'm sitting next to my friend, and she's on her iPod, like texting her dad. All my friends are on their phones and whatever. And I have my books in my lap, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh my god, my phone is in that school right now. Can I please go back in and get it? And I remember my teacher was on the bus with us, and she was trying to like cheer us up and like make us forget about what just happened, and she was like singing Christmas carols because it was right before Christmas, so she was trying to cheer us up, but it wasn't working for me. But anyways, I heard this from one other kid, and I'm not actually sure if this is true or not. I never found out if this was the reason, but I heard some kids say, I heard they turned the lights off because the school is gonna explode. So I'm over here, this little naive girl who believes everything she hears, and I'm like, oh my god, the school's gonna explode. My laptop, my phone are still in there. And this was back before I knew that if the school were to blow up, then they would pay for my laptop and my phone. But I didn't know that. So I was like, oh my god, my things are gonna explode. What am I gonna do? I was so scared. And I know that's kind of like selfish, but at the same time, that was like when I first got my phone, and that was also when I first got my laptop, and like I didn't want to lose it because of a school explosion. Like, ugh. Also another thing, school explosion, that's a little scary. Like, where would I go to school after that? But But anyways, I'm not really sure why the kids said that. Maybe it was a rumor they heard or like an accusation they made up or whatever. But to this day, I actually don't know why they turned the lights off. Later on, we learned that the school had a gas leak, and maybe they turned the lights off because something with the gas would like mix with the light particles or chemicals or whatever, just something sciencey. Maybe one of you could know and explain that to me down in the comment section below, because I don't know why they turned those lights off, because like I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have turned those lights off until all the school evacuated, because like major safety hazard there. And plus they never turned the lights off before in a past fire alarm scenario, so I'm not really sure why this time was different. So let's see, 5th period back in middle school was at 12:30, and we were on the bus for like at least an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. It was sometime over, a little over an hour. So basically, we finally got the okay to go back into the school. So the buses drive around and go up towards the school. And I remember the news actually came to our school because it was this big thing. So we saw the news van outside the school with the anchor woman or whatever. And we all like stuck our heads out the window and we're like, hi! It was funny. But anyways, we get back into the school. It still smells like gasoline, but it's more bearable than it was when we first got outside. We're told to go back up to homeroom. So I go back to homeroom. I still have all my books in my hand. Some of my friends had lost their books in the chaos, and I wish I lost mine because I didn't feel like carrying them around all that time, but I did. So I'm sitting at my desk, and the principal comes over the intercom, and he's like, okay guys, we're gonna have a half day because I don't think classes can resume after what just happened, and I'm sure some of you are a little shaken up from this, so I think it's a good idea to have a half day. So we were all pumped, and that was the craziest day of my life. But anyways, a moral of the story is I never kept my phone in my locker ever again. I didn't trust that school anymore. I did not want my phone in there because lo and behold, 3 months later, we had another gas leak. It was bad. That school just had so many problems. We had floods, we had window breaks, we had the air conditioning break, we had 2 gas leaks. It was just so bad. It was worse in 6th grade than it was in 8th grade, but there was still some stuff going on in 8th grade. It got to the point where students would come into school, and if they had like a test or whatever they didn't want to do, they would say to their friends, hey, I wish we had a gas leak today, that way I wouldn't have to take that math exam. I'm not even joking, my friend said that to me, and I heard some other kids say that. So yeah guys, that was my middle school experience. If you guys have any crazy school stories or memories or experiences like I did, please leave them down in the comments below. I would love to hear them. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's video, and if you enjoyed it, then give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and if you're not totally sick of me, then you should definitely go check out my last video. It was my best friend does my voiceover makeup challenge. And always remember guys, when you're in the spotlight, strut your stuff, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!